Hey guys, Nick here, and today I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step guide on building a completely no-code email inbox management agent. So this workflow will help you automate the process of categorizing and labeling your emails based on your specifications, making it easier to stay on top of your inbox without manually sorting through each message. So by setting up this agent, you'll be able to prioritize important messages and automate routine responses and ultimately focus on what matters instead of wasting your time in your inbox. So use cases for this can vary widely from, organizing client inquiries, maybe managing support tickets, or even categorizing some promotional content. So if you're overwhelmed with a flood of emails every day, then this is the perfect solution to streamline that workflow and regain control of your inbox. And with that being said, for how simple this automation is, really everybody should be implementing something like this. So I've been able to help companies save tens of hours every single week, which compounds into hundreds of hours and well over thousands of dollars saved every year through implementing systems like what I'm about to show you, even though this agent is just a fraction of some of the things that we've built. So if you're a business owner and you want to leverage our AI systems to scale your business and completely eliminate your repetitive tasks, like I've done with companies before, then book a free call with me and I'll show you how to drive revenue, save time in your business, and ultimately scale for growth so that you can finally step away from the daily operations. And be sure to join my school community because I'll be providing so much other valuable resources that'll help you grow and scale your business, which I don't provide on my YouTube. So links for both of those will be down in the description below. But other than that, before we get into the build and doing this step by step, I wanted to give you a quick overview of how this agent works. So if we come into NAN, as you can see, there's just a few different modules. So there's really not much work that you have to be putting into this. If anything, the hardest thing is just, differentiating what you're going to be um, separating and categorizing your emails into, whether that's urgent emails, read through to process, whatever that may look like. So to break it down simply, all we have is a Gmail trigger. So anytime we're receiving a message, or I should say an email within our inbox, this is going to look at that email. It's then going to go to this text classifier agent, and it's basically going to go through a few different routes. So it's either going to go in the urgent, billing, or read through category. So for urgent, you could probably guess what that would be. So any, super important emails from clients, leads, prospects. Then there's the billing category. So all these are super simple. You probably understand them yourselves. But anyways, billing is basically just going over anything that discusses invoices and stuff like that. So I just want that to be in its own category. We'll call it label. But the last one is just read through. So this is where I'm putting my newsletters and anything else that, I could just read at my own convenience, nothing too pressing. So we're basically having this agent determine which route that email should be going into, and then it's going to actually put it into that Gmail, and it's going to add the label. So we're just using ChatGPT, Gmail, and NAN's AI agent. So to build this out step by step, of course, we'll go back into the homepage, and we're just going to create a new agent whenever this pops up. So we'll add a workflow, and we'll just call this workflow labeling emails. Cool. Next up, we're just going to be coming into my Gmail inbox. So I'm currently not on the inbox page. I just don't want to show any sensitive information. But what we're going to be doing here is actually setting up our labels. So if you don't know how to set up labels within Gmail, it's super simple, and I already have them set up here. So I have billing, notes, read through, caprice, and urgent. So for billing, that's where we're going to be putting all of our invoices. So anything from, Stripe, or maybe there's some NDAs and stuff like that. We could go ahead and put them in billing. Then we have notes. We're not going to be including this in this one, so I'm actually going to delete this one. I'm not even sure why that one was there. And then we have the read through. So as I said, these are going to be the newsletters and everything. Caprice, that's kind of just for my convenience. We're not going to be going into that. So try to move urgent up. Guess we can't. So then we just have urgent, which is just going to be pressing emails from clients and all that stuff. So if we come into read through, as you can see, I put all these in here myself. So these are just going to be the newsletters and stuff like that. Don't really care about showing this information off. But if we basically just copy this, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to send this into an email to myself. and I'll just say hi. Put that in there. I'm going to send that off. And in a second, you'll see why I'm doing this. So as you can see, we have all of our labels set up, and you can create your own label. So if you want to create one for customer support, or if you want to create one for sales, just create that on your own time. So these are the ones we're going to be focusing on today. So first thing you want to do is you want to set up a Gmail node. So if we go to add a step, go to Gmail, and this is going to be our trigger. So this is what's actually going to activate the automation and the agent to start running. So you'll just want to connect your Gmail account. So if you don't know how to do this, I will show you briefly. So if we just go into create new credential, and if we want to connect our Gmail, we're going to need a client ID and a client secret. So how you can get that is if you go to Open Docs, and basically we're just going to come into the Google Cloud. And from here, what we're going to be having to do, well, first you want to go into the console, but from here, you're basically just going to search any of the apps that you're going to be enabling within N8N. So if that's Google Sheets, or in this case, if we're using Gmail. So just want to make sure that Gmail is enabled. So if we search up Gmail, as you can see, Gmail API. And I already have it enabled, so I don't have to do anything here. But to actually get your client ID and your client secret, what you'll be doing is, if we go down to APIs and services, then credentials. And as you can see, it'll be right here. So I already have it set up as OAuth 2.0. So to create your own, just go to create credentials, and you want to create a OAuth client ID. And from there, just continue on putting in your own sensitive information. I'm not going to show you anymore, obviously, because I don't want to share my data. But yeah, you can grab your client ID from right here. And if you go into the edit section, you'll also see your client secret. So I'm going to close that out, go back to our workflow, and we're just going to go back to our credential that we already have set up. Close that. So here's ours, and we're just going to be fetching this every minute as the mode. So if we go back and we activate it, then it's just going to run this mode every minute, obviously. So we can just leave this event as message receive. That's the only option. So no errors you'll be running into there. And for simplify, so this basically just allows you to return a simplified version of the response instead of raw data. So I'll show you what it looks like with and without it, and why we're going to be needing it without the simplify trigger on. So if we go to fetch an event, so that email I just sent to myself going over that newsletter, so it was AI Pioneer earns Nobel Prize. So that's now coming up because obviously I just sent it to myself, and this is going to be fetching every single email that's coming into my inbox. So as you can see, if we have it as simplified, it's going to break down the snippet. So this is all the body copy right here. And yeah, so it's showing the subject. So there's hi, but here's what it will look like if you have it unsimplified. Try this again. And now it's just going to be a little bit more expansive. So now it's bringing in all the HTML text, all the different text in here, text as HTML, and the subject. If we go all the way down, you'll see that it's hi. Okay, this is a very long list, so we're not going to go all the way down there because it's a long email. So leave it as unsimplified. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to go into advanced AI, and we're going to be using the text classifier. So if we select this, and all we want to do here is if we scroll down, we should see text. So here's the text. So this is going to be the body copy. So we want this email to analyze the body copy, nothing else. So it's not going to look at the subject. It's not going to look at who it's from. This is all it's going to be looking at. So as you can see, if we pull it up a little bit, you'll see some of the results. So welcome back, Superhuman. So this is just some of the context from the newsletter. I could even open it up and show you. So if I search welcome, okay, yeah, so that's literally the first line on there, which makes sense. But yeah, we won't have to go into the text. That's not important. So the categories that we're going to be adding here is the categories that we added within our inbox. So if you added customer support, if you added sales as your label, or literally anything else, this is where you're going to be putting it. So for here, what I've included is billing, read through, and urgent. Those are the three we're going to be focusing on. So I'm going to type in billing. I'm going to create one for urgent, and I'm going to create one for read through. So for billing, I'm just going to go back and take what I already created. So, whoops, wrong one. So basically for billing, I said something like this. Let me expand this. So the message is focused on payment processing, billing issues, or invoice clarifications, typically sent to or received from finance teams, clients, or vendors. So these communications often involve payment due dates, outstanding balance, or account discrepancies that require timely resolution. So common terms include, and then I just include some common things that I think may come up within my emails. So that's payment reminders, overdue, invoice, whatever. So basically, we're just giving a brief description of what's going to classify something as billing or urgent or read through. So on my own time, maybe I'll even include some more labels. But these are the only ones I care about right now. The clients is the biggest one. So for urgent, we're just going to be doing the same exact thing. I'm going to copy this, and feel free to kind of mimic or mirror how I'm styling this. And you could probably even give it to ChatGPT to expand on it if you want to be even more thorough and make sure that everything's going to be routed properly wherever you want it to be. So for this one, it's just going to be emails requiring prompt attention or action, often relating to project updates, missing information, or immediate needs. So these messages typically request quick follow-ups to keep tasks on track and avoid delays. So they frequently contain time-sensitive information or dependencies for ongoing work. Then I included some common phrases like ASAP, urgent, immediate response needed. Pretty self-explanatory. Now for read-through, this one is really simple. So these are just my newsletters, as I've said twice already. So emails and articles for leisurely reading, including newsletters, industry updates, or interesting content that you may want to browse when you have spare time. So these messages are non-urgent and purely informational, so serving to keep you informed or entertained. So I also included skim through at your convenience. No immediate action required. Probably don't need that, but just something we threw in there. And that looks good. So now that we have the categories routed and we have the context that this agent is going to need to actually run this, let's go ahead and test it out and see what happens. So what we're going to be testing is that email that I sent over previously. So the AI Pioneer one. So that one was a newsletter, if you guys recall. So we'll just go ahead and test this out. So it says a model subnode must be connected. So I actually forgot to include ChatGPT. So I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. So we'll just connect ChatGPT now. So similar to before, if you don't have GPT connected or you've never connected anything before, you're just wanting to be creating a new credential. And from here, you'll just have to grab your API key, which I hope you should be familiar with. Which if you don't, just go into OpenAI and go into your account settings and you'll be able to find your API key from there. But we're just going to be selecting ChatGPT 4.0 and we'll leave everything else okay. So now let's go ahead and test this out. It should be working properly. And here's the output. So as you can see, some of the few different ones that are going to be outputted are billing branch, urgent branch, and read through branch. So, just the three that I selected. If there was more that I added on here, then it would show up exactly right here. And there's even a log section. I probably wouldn't focus on this if I were you. But if we go to the read through branch, so if we scroll down, this is basically just showing that this entire email was added to this category that we have now made. So if we go into our email, we're not going to see the read through. So as you can see, it's not added into my label right here. And that's because, we didn't add a Gmail module to actually create an action to update the label. So now that we have everything going to the right labels and the right categories, now we want to do is just have the agent act upon this and create those labels or, put those emails in the label. So a lot of the words that I'm going to be saying are going to sound redundant, unfortunately, in this video. But anyways, we'll just create some actions right here. So if we go to read through, go to Gmail, we'll do add label to message. And now we'll just want to select our credential that we already hooked up. So let's use the operation as add label, message ID. We could just drag that straight from this text classifier and the label name or ID. So this one was read through, I believe. And now we'll just choose OK. And we'll test this step. Okay, so it just finished. Here's the output. So nothing really too important to focus on in this little field. But now if we go here and refresh this, okay, so now we have this email in our inbox or in the read through label category. So this is basically the email I sent over earlier. And I'll even do another example as soon as I connect the other routes. So honestly, I'm just going to copy and paste these other ones. So they're not going to look too different. We'll have to make some slight changes. So the label name, so this one was for urgent path. So literally all we'll do is instead of read through, we'll just go to urgent, which is down here. And for this one up top, this one is billing. So we'll just choose billing instead of read through. Choose that, close that out, and that's basically it. So now I just want to do some further testing. So if I create a new email, make sure to send it to myself. And if I just choose something like, I'm just going to write that out. And for this one, I'm going to say, hey, Nick, we have a project that needs to be finished and would like to ask you a few questions. And I'm just going to finish it off. I don't know why I'm putting manners in here. But anyways, we have a project that needs to be finished and would like to ask you a few questions. So are you available around 4 p.m. EST tomorrow so we can get started on this project? So basically, I'm just trying to act like I'm a client or I'm a employee and something needs to get done. So this should be labeled into the urgent category. So if I go ahead and test this workflow out. So as you can see, it routed through the urgent category. And now if we go into the urgent section, the email is now in there. So, we could try that out for billing, for invoicing, whatever. But essentially, that's really all you need to do. And if you open this up, so it really just comes down to how you're prompting this. And you could even include another GPT module right after this agent to even more thoroughly go over your descriptions and make sure that everything is going to be in the right place. But if you just focus on these descriptions and you make them, exactly how you want everything to go in there. So if you want your invoices to properly go into the invoices label, then you're just going to have to write out this properly. So if you didn't know by now, prompting is super important when it comes to using LLMs, and it's going to show, even more once you're using something like this. But anyways, that's basically what this agent looks like. And, this probably took me, I don't know, 20 minutes to build, and you could easily build it out yourself. But yeah, so essentially that's it. I've had a lot of people come to me asking me, how can I stay on top of my emails? What are some things that I can do? And this right here is a perfect example of just one thing that you can do to organize your emails and, not have to worry about sifting through, which emails are which ones are the newsletters. And, instead of having to test this workflow every single time, what you can do is you can just turn this on from inactive. And basically, this is just going to be running for you automatically. So, whenever I receive an email, you're no longer going to have to come straight into NAN. This is now going to run for you 24/7. So, yeah, really hope you guys found some real value in this. And, if you are looking for me and my team to actually come in and implement our AI systems to drive revenue and save time within your business, then you could also reach out to me. You can find the link to book a call is down in the description below. Find a time at your convenience and also join my free school community because I'll be providing things like this automation and also other valuable resources that I don't post on my YouTube channel. So thank you for watching. I hope you found some real value in this, and I'll see you in the next video.